You know, a lot of the times when a new anticipated game comes out for PC that people have been looking forward to, it's usually celebrated in a lot of different ways. Like when Oblivion 4 came out of nowhere, super surprise. When Clear Obscure 30 Expedition 33 came out, again, a fantastic surprise for everybody. I highly recommend that game if you have not already checked it out. But one of the most anticipated games for PC for me personally was actually Stellar Blade on the PC. I was really looking forward to it for its PC launch because it was going to be a massive improvement. There was going to be some crazy graphical updates. The textures are going to be looking fantastic. You're going to be getting haptic feedback if you're going to be using a PS5 controller while playing, which is what I highly recommend. Everything was going to be fantastic. But the crazy thing was, turns out, the game is actually being blocked in certain countries. Well, not just certain countries, a lot of countries. 120 plus countries to be exact. So I want to know what's going on, because even the developer is surprised. Even he's like, what is going on? We should be good to go. Especially when your game is like, what, 2-3 weeks away from launch? Like, you're really cutting it close here. So let's dive into this article here. Stellar Blade PC release blocked on Steam in over 120 countries, surprising even its developers, with PC specs confirmed. That's fantastic, at least. So let's see. Stellar Blade will be released on PC June 11, but its availability on Steam has been blocked in over 120 countries, surprising even it's the game's developer. Shift Up shared the news of its release on social media, but a number of fans responded with Steam screenshots showing the game isn't available in their region. Shift Up responded to confirm the PC version does not require a PSN account and appeared surprised in the replies at the game's unavailability. Now, for those who are unsure what I was referring to, remember the time with or if you don't remember, when Helldivers 2 initially came out, you had to have a PSN account in order to play the game on PC, which is kind of sucky because a lot of people in certain countries around the world, a PSN account isn't really available or readily available for that matter, so you can't really get your hands on it. So when Sony made that initial change, you were now bricked out of a game that you already purchased. It was nuts. It was a wild situation for everybody. It was chaotic for Arrowhead Studios because Helldivers 2 was met with such praise. The game was doing so fantastic, and then Sony stepped in and said, hey, let me handle this, even though they don't really know what's going on in the PC spec, because remember, that's not Sony's bread and butter. Sony's bread and butter is now focused on console, even though, let's be honest, that is shifting. But at the time, it was a nightmare. So people thought more of the same was actually happening now with Stellar Blade. Turns out, allegedly so far, that isn't the case, because even Shift Up themselves, the developers behind Stellar Blade the game, they're unaware of what is going on. Even they're just like, yeah, no, this should not be the case. You guys should be good to go. But apparently not. So let's just keep going. Checking Steam DB, it appears Stellar Blade has been restricted in over 120 countries. Most of these are where Sony's PSN isn't available. So by that logic, it does seem like it's being more of the same, right? It seems like, once again, Sony is blocking out these guys from playing unless you have that required PSN account, which hurts everybody. That's 120 countries with people who want to pay for your product, and now they're being gate kept out because of PlayStation's weirdo PSN requirements, which no one should have to ever go through. Like, it just makes gaming harder for everybody, and also makes your company kind of look like a dick, if I'm being honest with you. But let's keep going. Helldivers 2 was review bombed last year, like I just said, followed a PSN requirement, which led to the game being pulled from sales in 177 countries. That's wild work. That's insane. The company quickly U-turned its decision following the backlash. It would appear Stellar Blade is experiencing a similar issue, although Shift Up has stated a PSN account is not required. However, a free bonus costume will be offered when a PSN account is linked to Steam. There you go. So there is some ties to this thing. Regardless, there is some ties to it. But let's keep this going. Eurogamer has contacted Sony for clarification. The Steam listing does not state that Devino sucks, by the way, guys. Devino is so bad for those who aren't familiar, but Devino is. It's basically like an anti-tower. It's supposed to prevent piracy and whatnot, but it leads to a lot of like lag on your PC, a lot of like chugging the game, random crashes even if it's not implemented right. So that's why some developers say, screw it. They just throw the Devino out of there. But apparently Stellar Blade will be having it. But Devino has been incorporated, much to the annoyance of some fans. News of Stellar Blade PC release date leaked earlier in the week, but it has now been confirmed on the PlayStation blog. What's more, Sony has confirmed its additional content will also be available on a PS5 as a free update. Below are some of the PC specs, so as you know, you can generally see your PC specs, what you need to play and whatnot. Very high, let's see, 38. Oh, fantastic. I can run it on very high. I got a 4070 under the hood right now. But overall, what I want to know is what the heck is going on with Shift Up right now. What the heck's going on with Stellar Blade being blocked out of 120 countries. This is basically, essentially, the Helldivers 2 situation all over again. Because by this logic, it means, once again, PSN said, if you do have an account, you get a free bonus costume. Maybe this is Sony kind of doing it again in a weird haphazard way. And then they might just be like, oops, I didn't know what I was doing. I'm just a kid kind of thing, like whatever innocent bullshit. But clearly, you're gatekeeping a lot of people. Shift Up is not Arrowhead Studios. So one's from the US and the other's from South Korea, so even they're like, what's going on? This game should be available for everybody. We're so close to launch that it could actually be very detrimental in moving forward. Furthermore, if I'm being honest, nobody really wants to be paying full price again for a game that's already a year old. Do you know what I mean? Like, for example, Stellar Blade is all fine and dandy. It's going to be a fun game regardless of situation, but it's full priced. Dude, not even Oblivion 4 was full price. Expedition 33 wasn't full price. So, Helldivers even was not a full price game at its launch. So, to hear that Stellar Blade is going to be full price, even though it has region locking issues already, it's going to be using Denvuno, which is also going to have a lot of, like, you know, anti-modding. So, get that out of your head already, guys. Like, you ain't having no fun with any character customization of your imagination. That shit is dead. You just can't do a lot of things, and it's gonna chug on your PC really bad. So there's also that, and the region locking just seems so terrible. Diving in, you'd have some fans saying that $70 price point is going to kill its sales. It's a good game, but it's a year old, and people like me who may be interested in buying, even though we already own a PS5, just won't pay that price. And setting it up for failure is wild, man. I don't blame the devs though. It's absolutely Sony's fault. Until they remove Denvuno, this will sit in my wish list. Because Denvuno, it'll drop your FPS. Bro, it is a nightmare. It is a nightmare. If you're a PC user, it's pretty chaotic. Even if you're not even into like piracy or any of that, or like modding or anything like that, you could just be an innocent, and you're still getting fucked up because you're a part of it. So just because Denvuno is there. I really wanted to fold on this one because I really want to support Shift Up. However, my standards are barring me from giving Sony money since the Helldivers 2 fiasco. I'm between shitting on this situation in the comments and staring at the pre-order screen. We shouldn't give money to those companies that actively hinder us. But thighs, I see it. The common dilemma of man: thighs or caving to a superpower overlord of ruining gaming. So that's what is going on right now. Wow, the one-time support is good enough for me. Hope they drop Sony for their next game. I could not agree more. So fans in general aren't really feeling this. I feel really bad for Stellar Blade. I honestly, you know who I feel sorry for the most in this situation? I feel sorry for the gamers who were really anticipating this game, wanting to get it on PC, and you just so happen to not live in the 130 plus alleged countries that are not have PSN accessibility. So now you're being barred by Sony because apparently Sony's being Sony. Like this, now Sony even has a worse rep when it comes to this because they're becoming that guy. And to me, that felt like it felt like a Nintendo thing to do. But this is definitely how Sony is now when it comes to these games that, like, you know, they're also wanting to introduce on the PC side of things. But you let me know, despite everything, despite the Denvuno chugging your FPS and ruining a lot of the game aspects, despite the weird Sony region locking situation, will you still be picking up Stellar Blade 2 when it launches, what, June 5th or June 11th? Will you still be picking up a copy of Stellar Blade on PC? Let me know in the comments. Are you... Oh, and also, despite it still being a full price game, even though it's already been out for a year, that is crazy as well. Let me know in the comments if you're still going to be picking this one up. Let me know if Stellar Blade's still on your wishes, because I love Stellar Blade. I think it's an amazing game. I feel sorry for Shift Up. You can clearly see they're innocent in this situation, but it is what it is right now. Sony's their publisher, and this is how Sony's going about it. But you let me know in the comments what you think about this situation, guys, and I will talk to you in the next one. Do me a favor, subscribe, and give it a like, and I'm out. Later.